Alright, the start of the headliner. Thanks for following along on this one. This one's going to be fun. Is it going to turn out? I hope so. Alright, so following Chris Loomis' VW videos, he takes padding, rolls it up, and then glues it in here for the headliner to make it plush. So that's what we're going to do. I like the idea of plush. So the headliner basically comes from here, wraps around, and hooks onto here. This is the glue point for it. So what I'm going to do is put this padding in here, and then when the material comes around it, it makes the material kind of poof out a little bit. Makes it look, he says, more plush or posh or something there. All right, so he uses a regular spray adhesive, but I know contact cement works a lot better. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this in. The way I'm going to glue this in is I'm going to put the seam up against the metal so there's no way you can ever see it. Yeah, let's see where we're at. I know I made this way too long, so. All right, first piece of padding's in. Now we got to pad all that. I'm going to go do the other side. All right, so I missed a little area here of the padding. The wire brush makes quick work of it. I used a wire wheel on the grinder for the whole entire area. Just in this area. I think the headliner was still in there and the grippers. All right. All right, I'm gonna glue this side up. Let's get a light on it. All right. So we have to let this set up a little bit because it doesn't like wet on wet. Wanted to get a little bit of that dryness to it. I gotta go the other way, so I gotta glue up higher. Okay. Lighting in here is not good. Once again, we want it right up against the grippers. So that way the material, when it pulls up and over this, it helps hide the gripper and everything else with it. And this goes all the way down past the seat bar. All right. All right, that side's done. Make sure it stays tight up against the grippers. Cool. All right, I'm going to cut the other side. That's some fun stuff to cut. All right. Now we got some padding rolls. All right, so what we have to do here is glue this piece onto here. So I got it all masked off. So what I'm going to do is lay this out. I think it's way bigger than what we need, but trim it as we go. I didn't see that happening. All right. What you have to remember is this is practice for the headliner. So now we just flip this over. And we start there. Okay, so let me go spray this from the outside and we'll start working it. All right. Now let's see what we can do here. going to start getting rid of some of this material because it's going to cause wrinkles. I'm not going to cut it too tight. But you can see how much extra we had. Okay. They weren't kidding when they said that this stuff kills blades. I'm going to cut a relief cut. Still leave some of that pressure stretching. That out of the way. Now we can figure out what we need to do here. There's that back window. Okay, so that comes in there. All right. So now we're going to cut out the back window. And he cut right. Take your time and go slow. Get it right in that groove. All right, now we put the padding on these bars that go up and over. So that's next. Gonna clean up what I got going, and then we'll get ready to start doing that. This will have to be in 2 pieces. I think I'll do this piece right at the light on this side and the door jamb on that side. Okay, for the other side, I gotta get more glue. More glue. Oh, more glue. All right. So let's see how this is gonna go. All right, let's see, right about there. This really does kill blades, man. I think mainly because I'm hitting the metal, but I'm curious if we want it to wrap into the window. I don't think so. All right. That patty's done. That blade's done. Whew. I think I already flipped it, but just in case I didn't. All right. Time for the other side. All right, let's go ahead and get this side to this stage, and then we'll finish off this part over here. So one thing I did on this other side is I did not go far enough down. Let me get the battery out of my way. Lead is heavy. All right. So what I did not do is in the back here, I didn't go over the grippers. So I'm going to add a piece down on the other one because they said they have better luck if they go over the grippers on it. So I'm going to go over the grippers. So let's go ahead and start spraying. I'm telling you, if I ever have to jump out of a perfectly good airplane, I'm taking an air hose with me. That or an extension cord. They always seem to get stuck on something. All right. So you really don't want to use the 3-men glue, basically because in high heat situations it doesn't stick well. So anything that gets super hot, you might have an issue with. And we don't want to have issues. I'm just letting this set up a little bit. We probably don't need to because it's a porous material. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start there. Now I'm covering the grippers on this side. So the other side I'm going to glue a piece in just to kind of cover the grippers. Otherwise the headliner will show those grippers. Now another thing that we can do is take duct tape and put it over the grippers. You know, this you want it to lay down right at that top edge, because this is going to hook in with a piece of plastic and wrap over it. And to make that top edge look nice and smooth, you need this to be nice and smooth. Go to the door edge. Just kind of pulling it down. Push it in that channel. And then we'll cut that. Don't remember how new my blade is. Alright, if you're doing this, buy a box of these blades. You're going to go through them. I don't know if there's some better than others, but these I think are from Home Depot. Alright, that's done. So we're going to let this set up a little bit. I know my back's to you guys, but I want you to be able to see what's happening here. This stuff stretches pretty well, so if you miss your mark, you can always stretch it onto it. Okay, this goes all the way to the edge, and then you cut it diagonally back. On some Volkswagens, you'll be able to see where they went to. This one I really can't. So I'm just going to guess, and then you can always fix it later. Now we just have to do the same on the other side, and then we can do the back corner area right behind the back window. That's the next part that needs padding, and then after that we're going to do the ceiling. And on the ceiling we're actually going to glue two paddings together because my upholstery shop didn't have 1/2 inch padding, and they say to use 1/2 inch. So I don't know who they is, but they always know. So let's get to the other side. Alright, I was told that wherever this glue isn't, it's not going to stick. So I put the glue everywhere. We'll let that set up for a little bit. And I went ahead and masked everything off. The door jambs are all masked off. This jam's masked off. Just so that way if I did get any spray, it does come off pretty easy with mineral spirits or lighter fluid, or some people use gasoline even. But the less we overspray, the less we have to clean. Anybody that knows me, they know I hate cleaning. As you can tell by the background in this video. Okay. So this is the important part to make sure we clear that. We want to make sure that we're right up against that top edge. About there. There. Before I do the headliner, I'll go ahead and clean off my overspray. Okay, now we got to cut right up there. The blade is already dead. I'll go to that side and cut it. We'll let that set up pretty good, and then I'll come back and cut it. All right, time to move on to those little back corners. And then we have the roof to do. Then we'll be on to headliner. All right, so what we do is just put a panel in here. He didn't go too far close to the window. I think it's just because this stretches from here to here. So just to kind of fill up that gap a little bit. He said you can use 1/2 inch there, but I'm going to cut the piece that we put in for the window. Shoot some glue. All right, let that set up for a little bit. I really like that word, all right, don't I? I say it all the time. So after this, I have to work on the headliner piece. Like I said, I'm going to put 2 pieces of 1/4 inch together. I'm going to glue that outside the car. And then I'll cut 1 piece, make sure it all fits in here nice. One thing that we do have an issue with is a tree fell on this car. And the body man that fixed the inside panel, I guess he didn't realize how important that was for that to be tight to the roof, because the headliner, when it goes in, it snaps over and locks into that channel. If the roof is not there, then that clip can pop out. So I think that's going to be an issue on this. What we might have to do is build it up with padding or cardboard or something in order to get that to be a tight edge there and not have that flip up. And the guy that put on the new roof skin did a great job. I can't tell where the patch was. If there is a patch, he might have re-rolled the whole entire drip rail, but that's a lot of work, and it doesn't look like that's done. But the inside, he just didn't care about. Probably didn't realize that the headliner doesn't cover it. There's a whole bunch of hammer marks and stuff like that. And then the body man probably should have fixed that also. So the metal and the body men both didn't fix each other's work, and now this is where we're at. Told the customer about it. He's good with it. He's okay. So let's get this done. Let's see which way it fits the best. I kind of like that. Now the headliner glues to this fender edge, so we can't pad we can't pad the fender lip. Cut this piece off. That piece right there. Blades don't last. Another good tip is use a knife that's real easy to swap the blade out. Okay, now we need to cover these grippers. So I'm going to just spray some glue. On the other side I did it right. This side I have to fix. Okay, that's good. Okay, he also said leave about a ½ inch. From the grippers. This blade is not going to cut. I gotta get comfortable. And one thing we did was I put in screws. Gotta make sure I don't cover that. I put in screws so when we do the headliner, we'll be able to find that. So wherever there's screws that go in, we're gonna cut the padding shy of that. Wherever the screws go in, like for the grab handle and this, and I think that's it. If you have the pop-out windows, there's screws for those. You want to put those in while you're doing the headliner. So that way you can push the headliner up against it and feel where those screws are, where those holes are. And then you can cut those areas out, usually probably just with a little X, and let it push back in. Otherwise, you'll never find those holes. It'd be next to impossible to find them. Not saying it'd be impossible, but next to impossible. So I'm going to put it just shy of that, so I don't have to cut that out. I don't like the way that fit. Let's stretch that down. Okay. The turret really is hard to cut. I'm just going to keep slicing and dicing. Just trying to get clearance on these grippers. Because he said he's had issues with being too close to the grippers. The headliner kind of bunches up. I think this back window section is the only section that really 100% glues in too. Alright, that should be good. That section's done. You said you could do 1/2 inch here? I just have the 1/4. I mean, I could always glue another piece in, but I don't think it's necessary. This might be too close to that hook. All that good. Time to start the headliner. So what I think I'm going to do is take the headliner out of the package, lay it down flat on a big flat table on top of the padding, and take chalk and mark it out, and then cut out that section. So that way we know it'll fit in there easy. We'll put it in. The difference is we'll have to grow a little bit, because the headliner, even though it follows and tucks in, it's down about that far, so it's not going to suck up into the crown as much. Now, this padding will never touch the headliner. Possibly in these little grooves. You know, the headliner is going to the padding will go tight to it, because the padding will help hold that hook in. And then, like I said, in that front corner, I'm probably going to have to do 5 or 6 pieces of padding to kind of push it up tight to fix that gap. So here the gap is probably, I mean, I could barely get my fingertips in it. On there I can get my fingers in easy. So we're going to have to bring the roof down. Yeah. We'll do that one. Alright, so I cut out one. My table's not big enough. You need a really large table for this. But I cut out one, so that way I can kind of get started, we just take chalk and we'll trace it. So this is a problem I run into, and I'm on a big bolt of material, so the big bolt makes it real hard to work with. But I need all the padding for the carpeting and everything else, so. I'm gonna make this bug sound like a Mercedes inside. All right. Because I need 1/2 inch, I'm going to glue these panels together and then put them in the car. And I can say a good pair of scissors is kind of a must on this. I think it'd be a lot easier if I had upholstery shears, which are the big long ones, but all right. Now I'm gonna get the bolt off of here, and then we'll glue up here, because this will fit this way on the piece of plywood I have underneath my table. So I'm gonna do that, and we'll be back. So we got the roof panels cut out. I'm going to go ahead and spray adhesive on them. Had to get this one out of the way. And get glue on this one. Yeah, just spraying half of this so we can lay down half of it, and then I'll spray this other side, and then we'll continue that. So, time to get a helper. All right, so I need help from my lovely assistant. Insert bell noise here. Now this glue only sticks where there's glue to glue. So we can line this up. Okay. I'm on my edge. Get off the edge of the tape. Like I said, this is where a big table will help a lot. Well, this padding is very forgiving, stretches a lot. But like I said, the headliner is not going to be touching this. This is basically just padding to help cool it down. And if you can get 1/2 inch padding, much, much better. All right, so now we're going to pull this back to where the glue is. I'll spray this in. Probably didn't have to do that second layer, but I just did it anyways. All right, and because we're not going to a hard surface, we can kind of do it wet on wet.
Over the edge of it, is that right?
No,
It's under the edge of the head, is that right?
not really. We stretch it out it. Stretch is pretty good. No. No. It is overcut, so. Okay, now the fun part is putting this up into the car. So I have to put glue on this padding and put glue on the headliner part. So I'm going to go ahead and put glue on the car itself first, because that's a hard surface, so that'll take longer to dry, to set up. And then I'll do the padding. And what I think I'll do is kind of do a circle in the center of the padding. Stick that up dead center. You know, we'll be able to get it all lined up. Stick it up dead center, push it up, and then glue the outside edges and work my way out. Probably glue half of the other side and half the other, and then work it up. I don't see any problems with that. Because I think if we start on one side, by the time we get to the other side, we might be off.
Just like how we're going.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start spraying the headliner. I'm going to spray the whole entire headliner, and then we'll just spray the center of the padding and push it out. I'm saying headliner, but the headliner padding. That should be good. Now I gotta go spray the material, and then we'll come in and put it up. All right, so I got Chris here, and she's gonna hold the front edge, and then I could line up the back edge, hopefully, and then we can push it in. So that pushes in there. Okay, go ahead and hold center. That is. Okay, that's long, so that's good. Might have to come a little bit towards driver. Okay. We gotta push it right there. I got glue in the center. Okay, good. I'm long in the back, so that's perfect. All right, I'm going to push it up in center. Ready? Okay, that should be good. All right, now I just have to glue the material and push it up as I go. So this should be able to come down to where I pushed up. Perfect. Wow. Yeah, maybe. That makes it where we can push it up front. And then I'll pull the sides down, so I'll go do the back while that sets up. All right, so we just have to push this up. So for the 58 bug, the measurement, 58 inches that I cut this at, was a little long. But it's one of those things I'd rather have it too long than too short. You could always cut it. All right. So now I'm going to spray glue this and push it up. This I can do in quarters. Let's start in center. Up to the other side. All right, I'm going to go ahead and spray the front, and then we'll come back to the rear. Let's get it all sprayed. All right, everything's sprayed. All right, come back with a razor blade and cut that. Now this needs to be stretched a little bit. So it would help to have 3 people when you're trying to put this in. Well, this is future me. I don't know what happened to the video. I don't know where the footage went on the very end of it. But the last you saw, I was installing padding, and now there's a headliner in there. So I was working in the back section. I guess the camera, I had to reset the cameras because they only record for a certain amount of time. And you missed out me trimming the headliner padding that was up there. So what I did is I just went around and trimmed about 1/4 of an inch away from the channels all the way around the outside edge. And that's pretty much all you missed, was me trimming and probably using 16 razor blades like most of the job was. I think if you watch the headliner one, I haven't edited that one yet. If you watch the headliner video, you'll see the padding and how I trimmed it. And I want to say I also went in and trimmed a little more as we installed the headliner, because the padding was actually pretty tight to this. Now this car did get hit with a tree. The tree came down on it, and a body guy replaced the roof skin. And I think when he did so, he didn't think about the channeling that's up here and the importance of it when it was installed. So there's some areas that were really, really tight. Across the back section was super tight. I don't know how it is on your car. And across the front section, right where the mirror is, it's actually like bent up a little bit. So I put the hook in there and tried to pry it down as much as I could, but I couldn't do excellent on it. So there's a little ripple in the headliner, and you see it a little bit. As the headliner's been sitting, it's been done for about 1.5 weeks now, and a lot of the wrinkles are kind of working its way out. Once again, this headliner material is very, very thin. just go check out the headliner video. That one's going to be pretty cool, and it's going to be over here someplace when it gets edited. But I really want to thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry. I'm new at this. I'm trying. Hopefully I get better at this. If not, then I'll get better at it. So thank you so much for watching, and check out the what we're going to be doing in the next cookout. We're going to how-to something.